Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So today we have for review the LiDi-RC L6 Hexcopter. Now everybody is trying to outdo the infamous MJX X600 Hexcopter, and this one looks like it may possibly have a chance, but I'm gonna put that through the test for sure. So not sure what's in the box here, but this one's saying it does 5.8 gigahertz real-time FPV. So hopefully I got the FPV model. We're gonna unbox this, check it out. The links to this guy are down in the description under the video, so be sure to check that out if you're interested in this guy, and click on that link to take you to where you can buy this thing. But basically what we're gonna do is unbox this, put it together, take it out, do some flight testing, get some hat cam video, onboard video, see how that video does. Bring it back into the house. We'll do the park flight on this too. Bring it back into the house. See how it does in no wind, with wind at the park. Do some sport flying. Go through all its paces. See exactly how this thing performs. And then come on back to the bench and do a final pros and cons afterthoughts on how it did. So let's go ahead and get started with this guy and unbox it. Alright, so pull this all out. Cool, so there it is there. Go ahead and take off the stuff underneath just so it's not all flopping around. So, some instructions. Looks like we have some extra stuff on the bottom. Let's go ahead and take the top off here. So, quadcopter. Ooh, it is an FPV model. Looks like we have our FPV screen. Nice. For real-time FPV controller. Propeller guards. Alright, cool. So first up is the LiDi-RC L6 itself. And it looks like this is like the bluish metallic version here. We can see that nice kind of chameleon greenish bluish color on top, and then it's just black on the bottom here. Alright, so upon further inspection, looks like we have 3 bladed props. Interesting. Looks pretty well done. Nice little prop caps here are also kind of a plastic chrome plated as well. Nice design. Flipping it over, we can see the gear assemblies. We can see the gears are protected pretty well in these gear covers here, these motor covers, gear covers. And it looks like we have a light on each of the 6 arms to aid in orientation. Looks like it's pretty well done, where from the side we can still see the light. So great job, LiDi-RC, for giving it seemingly good lighting first right off the bat. Our landing gear is already installed, just a couple of feet there, and looks pretty well put together. And then here is our 5.8 gigahertz antenna, kind of clipped in here like that, and there's the camera all built in with the 5.8 gigahertz. Looks like this camera can rotate the front up and down. Not sure if we're going to be able to control that from the controller, probably not. Doesn't feel like it has any kind of gear in it, but we can definitely push it with our finger there to go like at a 45, or even go up a little bit or straight ahead. And then there's our SD card slot in the back, and oh, this one has a switch. Nice. So there is an on-off switch here, so you don't have to fly exactly right when you plug in your battery. You have the ability to turn it on when you're ready to go. Alright, cool. So there's the copter, the Hexcopter. Now let's move on to the other stuff we get in the box. And first of all, let's open up this bag of goodies here, see what we got. Okay, so 4 extra props, not 6, but at least we get 4. Just in case we do have a few crashes, we have some options to get us back in the air right off the bat. So good job giving us 4. Would have liked to have seen 6, but 4 is good enough in my book. We have our 6 propeller guards. So if you are just starting out or are afraid of crashing and damaging anything, go ahead, and I would really recommend putting these on All you're going to be doing very simple is sliding these into these little holes on the front, and then there's a little screw on top. And looks like they provide you these screws here. You just screw them in right on top if you wanted to. And that's to protect your propellers, and in the crashing scenarios you'll get less damage, but they will give you less flight time because there is a little bit of weight to them, and also they're more wind resistance, so the wind will blow the craft around more. So I'd recommend, if you're good, leave these off. If you're just starting out, definitely put these on and take them off when you get a little better. And let's see what kind of battery's in here real quick. Forgot to take out the battery. So it just kind of opens up like many other quadcopters and slides forward. Looks like it opens really easily, and it's not going to open during flight, and then it slides forward and clips in really nice and tight. And pretty good sized battery here. Looks like they're giving us a 750 mAh. I'm assuming it's a 3.7 volt. It's not really saying on the battery here, but it's got to be a 3.7 volt for sure. And here's the charger here. This you'd plug into any cell phone charger or laptop, and it's got the JST connector to charge it to your battery. Give you the screwdriver. So changing props, working on your quad. Good job for these guys for giving you a screwdriver. Some manufacturers don't, and they forget, and you need a screwdriver, so that's good on these guys. And the controller, the screwdriver will come in handy to open up your controller first off, and you probably won't need to put it back in, just like all the other clip kind of backings like this. It takes 4 AA's and it clips in nice and tight, so you won't have to put that screw back. Okay, so that's everything you get in the box. There's the controller. Here is the screen mount and the screen. Let's go ahead and mount this up really quick and see how this works. It looks like it's pretty simple. It looks like all we're really doing is sliding this thing over here. And it's got kind of these tension clips. Oh, okay, I see. So you've got these notches here that while you're sliding over, you're facing it down, and then you're just pushing it on. And it just kind of all locks in nice and steady. Oh, there we go. So you push it a little harder, and you're going to hear that clip snap, and voila. No screwing necessary. Really good job with these guys. They made it really sturdy, and it locks in. And to take the thing off, I just want to see how this will come off. Looks like you just push on these tabs, and it easily just pops right off. So great job for these guys for making a really easy, intuitive push-on camera, spring-loaded camera clamp. That's great. Or actually not camera clamp, but clamp for their screen actually. So we're going to go ahead and put that screen in, spring-loaded, really easy. Only con right off the bat I'm seeing is there's no sun hood, so that may be a little tough in sun or direct sunlight, so we're definitely going to check that out when we go and do our flight test to see how that does. It does have a little bit of a film on here. See if we can take that off. There we go. So it looks shiny, but it's actually a matte finish, so good job for the matte finish on these guys. Less glare, less problems with seeing in sunlight, so great with the matte finish. And then this is interesting. This is just a plug, and it looks like it plugs right in to the top of the controller here. And that's how it's going to get its power, I'm assuming. That's a pretty interesting way of doing this. So it's just going to plug in there. This screen is going to be powered off of these 4 AA batteries. So you're going to have to change the batteries a little more frequently. But it is nice to have an all-in-one system where all you got to do is change these batteries. You don't have a separate battery to charge in here. I do actually like that. So get a set of rechargeable batteries, AA's, and just keep charging them off and on, and there you go. Let's go over through the controls really quick before we go out there into the field, just so we can get a feel for what the controls do. So it looks like these two knobs here on top are just for looks, purely cosmetic, don't do anything, they're just fixed in place. Nicely labeled top buttons. This is for your camera or photo. So I'm assuming probably photos hit it once and cameras click and hold. And then this button over here on the top right trigger will give you your 3D flips. So you can do flips with that. Click it, and any direction you press, it'll flip in that direction. Okay, and same basic controls as any other Mode 2 controller. You have your throttle on the left here, and then your yaw on the left as well, and then your pitch and your roll on the right stick. And then these are combination click-in sticks here. When you do press in the left stick here, that'll enter your headless mode where the craft can be facing any direction, and these sticks will be exactly how you're pushing them. Well, they should be. So if it's facing like this, you pull back and you're in headless mode, it'll come back towards you no matter what direction it's facing, left, right, forward. That's what headless mode is. And then if you click on the right stick, that actually will give you a return to home. So no matter what orientation, even if it's not in headless mode, it should, once you click this in, as long as you're you launched from facing away from you when you're flying, if you click this in, the quad will just come back in your direction. So that's the return to home there. And then like any other trims, this is your trim for your pitch and your roll here. So if it's flying in one direction, just go ahead and click these in the opposite direction a little bit if you're just trying to do a hover, and tune it to stay still. Okay, and then this is your trim for your yaw. So if it's turning by itself in one direction, click the opposite direction in this a few times just to make sure it's not yawing on its own. And then this one's interesting. It actually has on the throttle trim switch here, it's actually saying it's a light control switch as well as high, low, medium, high speed switch. So this would change it, turn off on your lights on the craft, and also change your rates of flight so you can fly faster or slower here if you're a beginner or you're an expert. And that's pretty much it for the controller. So before you go fly, I'm just going to go ahead and put the batteries in real quick and see how it looks when we turn it on. Make sure everything is kind of working before we go out and fly. So we'll turn on the power of the controller. Looks like the screen powers up when you turn on the controller. That's pretty cool. And let's go ahead and put in the battery real quick. And this one's kind of interesting. We can see here that the battery connector is actually embedded in the wall of the craft, so it's not just floating around in there. So let's see how this works. Looks pretty easy. Just pushing it in, plugging it in there, ready for business. Okay, powering on, power switch here on the back. Hearing some beeps, and there we go. So we immediately have the FPV. Oops. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention, there is no SD card, so you're going to have to provide your own SD card. We can see on the screen it's saying card error. So you're going to need a little micro SD card for this guy. Provide it yourself. You can get some for really cheap. Maybe you have some laying around from different quadcopters you have. But you're going to need one of those. Pick it up and put it in. So it looks like your basic information on the screen. We have our signal to the craft. And then we have our battery level on the craft and battery level on our transmitter. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but it seems pretty accurate because I haven't charged the craft battery yet, and it looks like it's in the middle. And I have not charged, these are almost dead batteries in the transmitter, so it looks like it's pretty accurate. Okay, cool. So the up and down basically gets it bound, and it's ready to go. And then we can see the lights here. Looks pretty good. We've got some green all the way in the back and then 2 whites on the front. So that'll give us really good orientation when we're flying. The only problem I can see with it dark like this is that when you are flying towards you at kind of a eye level, the lights are going to be hard to see. And that's usually how it is on black quadcopters like this, where the lights can't shine through the arms. But these guys did do a pretty good job at letting you see them from an angle here like this. So cool. You can see maybe 100 millisecond lag. That's kind of normal with these FPV systems. But anyway guys, everything's working great. Let's go ahead and get in the field, get some hat cam video, park flight, house flight, get some onboard video. See how I'll put that up on the screen as well, see how that does. And we're gonna have fun with this one. Let's go check it out and then come on back to the bench and do a final pros and cons. So let's get out there and go fly.